Hi, and welcome back to this series on how to make an environment in Unreal. In the last episode, we made some of the shaders for the walls and such, and we set up a bit of a basic lighting. After the episode, I added a few minor details. I forgot to add the stucco texture on this wall. I decided to put back the directional light for now, just turn it back on, that's it. And I felt the scene needed a bit more verticality, so I added a bunch of random walls up here. Kind of create the idea that there's like a castle wall or something. We'll come back to that later. It's just a bunch of these basic square walls stacked next to each other. Yeah, so today we're gonna finally tackle these gray areas. It still needs their final models. So we're going into Maya, and we're gonna work on those today, finally. We've already made a bunch of the main textures, so we can texture them right away when we're done. So to do that, let's first add some of these textures into Maya. Let's make a new Lambert. There's this thingy next to color, select the file, and let's go to our project file. Textures. Let's just add a bunch of these. So another one, file, select trim sheets. Those are pretty important. And then we have our, oh, don't need that one. The floor, why not? Just for preview's sake. File. And one more is the wood. Yeah, this one. Cool, so put this on the side. We've done a couple models already. This wall bit and this floor bit, so I'll put these on the side. We can, for fun, give them their texture. So there we go. It's not, doesn't really matter, but yeah, whatever. That's that. Yeah, one more texture I'm gonna add is a UV texture I made once. You'll see it in a moment. File. Got it under pictures, I think. Yeah. So it looks like this. It's just a bunch of squares, and it's to check the textile density as well as whether the UVs are warped or not, which is going to be nice for UVing. So we'll leave that on the side for now. Okay, which one should we make first? Let's see. Let me actually make these invisible for now. Also the characters. So these shapes are, I think I might do these first. Yeah, sure, doesn't really matter. Let's grab these two. Yeah, let's start with these. I think I'm fairly happy with the. These are pretty straightforward. I'm not gonna change them too much. So what I'm gonna do is actually texture them right away and see how that looks in game. If it turns out we need a bit more geometry, we'll go back, tweak it. So I'm opening the UV sheet, and here you can see it's stretching. So let's add that texture. So what I like to do is, okay, usually I UV on my other window, so this is it's going to be a bit tricky to show on screen. First thing I like to do is just do an automatic UV. What you could do, select the whole thing, merge everything together into one big awful mush, and then select all the edges where you want cuts to be. So I want some over there. Cuts in there. Again, my mouse is broken. I still need to replace it, so it tends to double click every now and then, which it looks like I'm doing something weird. That's probably why. So let's cut those lines. Oh, not to preview. That one is disabled for some reason. Let's select these edges. That one, that one. So I didn't actually plan on starting out with UVing right away, but this model works quite well, so might as well. Okay, I think that's fine. Actually, put that one intact. Right, so now let's select everything, and so this one is still not working. Let's see, I think there's still a thingy connected. Yeah, disconnect that first. Let's try it again. This one is still having some issues. Oh, I see. Okay, I need to disconnect it over here. I think in that case I might as well disconnect this whole front face. And I'll keep doing this till there are no more of these like warped areas. I all want them to be straight. So let's disconnect it. Let's try it again. Yeah, so it's already sort of getting better, but we're not there yet. Oh yeah, see, forgot one edge. Now it's straight. So before we continue, let's well, first let's save. And then I'm gonna assign the stone trim sheet material. It's this one, I believe, yeah. I made one mistake, by the way, which I discovered. It's something I've learned and will not repeat in future projects. And that's I had some issues with the textile density, and this is because the walls I made are 3 by 3 meters long, and dividing something by 3 rarely ends up with an even number, especially if you work in exponentials. So it's instead of like a nice textile density of 265, I ended up with something like 117.67. It's a little unfortunate, but it'll do. It'll do for now. But it might be something to take into account with your own project. Try to if you're going to make walls and then base all your other stuff around those parameters. Try to make walls that are like 4 meters wide, 2 meters wide, etc. So now that I have these UV islands, let's set the textile density. So that's correct. Let's move them over. I'm going to rotate them. They'll have to follow this horizontal line, so I want them to be aligned as such. This one. Another thing we have to check is if they're not upside down. Do that as well. What are you? Okay, I think you're belong over there. Oh. Select everything and see if they all move in the same direction if I move them. They don't. So for example, these need to rotate. You need to rotate. This as well. And then finally, let's check these edges. I think we got most of it now. It's a little hard to read. Okay, I think those do fine. Let's align them. So we have this big one. Still a chance I might assign the other tileable material, tileable stone wall, and not this trim sheet. I could use this though. Okay, so put that one over there. So now what I'm gonna do is get the stone wall. Make sure that still aligns. So these align, sort of. Yeah, I know we might actually have to use title material. For now, we could leave it at this. The reason why I'm a bit hesitant about it is because it would mean we'll have to add another draw call, and we don't want that. Every material you add to a texture, or I mean to a model, means it has to calculate it once more. I think these are okay. Yeah. That goes to the line as well now. No, sorry, I'm doing this again on the other window. All I'm doing is just align them on here, and more looking at this picture, make sure that these lines match up. So now we take these outer areas, can actually connect these up. And align that as well. Same piece of texture. And now we're gonna take these bits. I have to edit them a little bit. Let's see how I'm gonna do this. If you want to edit something without warping your UVs like this, you could press preserve UVs. It doesn't always work, but yeah, sometimes it does. So what I want to do here is to show you. Let's disconnect these and lay them on top of this pattern we've made. So rotate these. I don't want. I kind of want this to go into each other without it like laying directly on top of it. Like now you can see that they're not connected. So I'm thinking of a way how I can warp this UV. So I'm gonna do that probably. Let's take this. As well as these. Now if this is gonna work, I'm gonna squash these like that. I'll do the same over here. Now I'm gonna merge those points. I have to merge these as well. Yes. So now I'm gonna make a cut in these UVs. And then merge these edges. I think that works. Not only it'll save a few polygons. It will also should also help it to align. No, actually it does the opposite. Okay. So how do I do this? Yeah, so the bottom one works, the top one doesn't. Oh, I think I might know. It's laying on top of one of these X shapes, I think. Yeah, so if I move it a bit, now it does line up. It's not lying straight. Oh, it's a bit rotated or something. Right, so I'm gonna take these shapes. Let's all lay them nicely in a row. Sure they're all the same width. I think the problem is that they're not large enough. I have to scale them up a bit to make sure I actually know the correct height. What I'm gonna do is go in here. Can I not see? Oh, it's select this one, and now it also shows up in the UV editor. Now select this one. Select these. Align them with this shape, and then scale up till they are snug in the UV island. There. For this row, I mean. Cool. So now let's try it again. Yeah, so now they fit perfectly. Nothing. Do want these to sit next to each other like that. Oh, there's also some of them are rotated, I noticed. Not. No, never mind. Next up, to make sure that textures align, I want to take these ends and place them right next to each other like that. These in the middle. And I think now it works, sort of. Okay, still not quite. Oh yeah, I get it, I get it. Let's temporarily remove these. Or never mind. I need to add one edge loop through here. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's a bit of trial and error. I haven't done this before either. So, same here. Edge loop. Sure these are on top of each other. Like when we're doing this in the future, it should go a bit faster because then we'll know how to do this actually. Merge these points again. Okay, let's see how do these edges sit. Now we can connect these. Don't think anything warped. No, great. Save. I'll make sure that these actually hmm. Okay, so if I aligned them and put it in the middle. And there we go. Now it does work. Yeah, that was the solution. So now all these shapes perfectly follow each other. Okay, let's do a little bit of cleanup on this one. Because I don't think we need all of these lines. For example, these, we're not using them. So we can merge that. And then what we can do to make sure these are quads, let's actually enable the textures so we know for sure we're not like messing up the UVs. So I'm adding a line in between here, and then I can delete these. Hold Control when you press delete, so it also deletes the vertex points in the middle. And there we go. I think this one is done now. So let's delete the history, etc., etc. Align it again in the center. It's called wall half, so export it. Oh. It's now what we can do is go back in here, geometry. It was this one, I believe. So if we re-import. Oh yeah, I moved some projects around, so usually this works, but now it doesn't know where the folder is anymore. So I have to quickly redo this. All right. Go to materials. Stone trim. Put it on there, and there we go. We have our shape. I forgot a few things. One thing we forgot is to UV the top side of this shape. But this is an excellent opportunity to check if it actually is working. There's a few things I'm not happy with. That's well, these don't align for a start. I think it might be cool to add another bit of the trim in. So let's go back in here. I'm gonna select these shapes, open the UVs. I'm gonna put it on this one. I think that's a cool bit of the texture. I'll align it with the top part because we'll mostly, I think, look from this angle. That way you can actually see the little chipped edge on there. You won't look at it as much from the top view. And then for this top part, that one is aligning fairly well. Am I using it in any other parts? No. I think I'll leave that for now. So I'm thinking of adding an edge cut and then offset it a bit so these don't sit on top of each other like that perfectly. Yeah, I might actually do that. So connect them, select these edges, go in here, cut them, select the top part, and now it sits perfectly. And if we offset it, something like that, that'll do. Perfect. And now these smaller edges in here, oh yeah, I haven't even added them. They're still sitting here on the side. So I think we can just stack them on top of each other. And let's find this the place for them. You could just stick them on top of it. If we connect it, it's going to connect on the wrong side. Just detach it. But now it is aligned. We can move it up. I think I'm going to align them with the top UV part. Just trying it out. This is gonna look. After that, I think I'm gonna model the gates. Sorry, I'm messing around with UV, so I'm not quite doing what I want. Just trying to align it, just overlaying it a little bit to get a part of the chip edge with it. Okay, I think this is this works. So now if we export it again, wall underscore half, go in here. Now if we go and re-import it, it should update. Yeah, there we go. Now we've got this nice bit, and I do notice that the UVs are upside down. Once more. Oh, by the way, it's the back side. Oh yeah, that's never mind. That does work. Excellent. So now I can see this chopped edge. That's what I meant. What you could even do, might be better even. Select this template. Scale it up till it's sitting perfectly. Obviously, this means there's a bit of a discrepancy in the pixel density, but for now I think it's fine. So now you can see these edges we've ZBrushed in there. Looking nice. Shape is sitting there. Thinking if I should maybe make the inset a little less. It's quite deep. Alright, I think that works for now. We can move on to the next shape. It's Which one would be interesting? Get a bit of wood. Do this one. It's a fairly easy one. Move this one over so we have more completed ones over there. Let's see, where's that? Where's that part? I think it's not in this file. Let's quickly re-import it. I do have it in here. So what's it called? Fence. Yeah, there we go. So this one's working fine actually. I'm gonna open our reference again. I have to recreate this shape a bit. I'm actually gonna recreate it completely. Yeah, so sometimes you have to turn off preserve UVs, or else it's give you some errors. Like there. Next up, I'm gonna do this part because I wanna make it a little thicker, I think. And a half. Yeah, I like that one. Add some loops there. I'll do this so it's a bit easier to align the little thing that sits on top of it, the corner. So I'm just gonna remove these. Now I'll just closely look at the reference while I extrude this part. Something too fancy. Trying to create a bit of a curve here. This one goes like that again. We can afford a little bit more detail here and there. So this is almost there. Add one more, and then this. Some final tweaks. This can be a bit thinner. Okay, I think I can afford one more loop here. And then the next thing we're gonna do is actually, for texturing sake, we have to do the same here. This is gonna have to be straight strips according to the texture. You can see they're cut off diagonally, but instead they just keep going and then kind of sit inside of each other like that. I'll try to do a few very different assets because I could do some of the wall bits as well, but it's the same process. It might be a bit boring. So after this, I think I'm gonna do a gate and then call it a day. So next up, I wanna clean up this part. I think I'm gonna do is just merge everything here. And over there, merge it. Obviously, this is very ugly. It's a bit too ugly even. So that's a quad. You want preferably you want everything to be four-sided, three-sided. So triangles are fine as well usually. So if you can make it a quad, make it one. So there we go. This is another. Let's soften these edges. Doesn't really matter, but my OCD likes it. So see, can we merge this one as well? Stop pushing it a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's not. I think I'll just leave the others like that. Obviously, we need to add some edge loops at that one yet. Go. Perfect. Now finally we'll insert these, holding shift so it's doing it for both. There we go. Here's our block out. Here's the final one. I could add some chipped edges to this. Might be nice to the top side. We need to clean these edges because of that. But yeah, it does look a little better. So let's merge this stuff. Select everything and no, actually we're gonna have a few triangles because of this, but that's fine. Select everything and merge the vertices just to be sure. I think, yeah, this is calling this final now. We're gonna UV this. First, let's assign it wood material. Looks ugly as hell at the moment. So again, I'm selecting the whole thing, merge it into a ball, and let's find the edges where we want to cut this up. So I want a cut in here. Same time I'm looking up here, so obviously there's a cut over here, which I'm adding now. There's a cut here. Then I assume something like that. And then maybe one there. Let's cut these edges as well. So yeah, this is not going to work yet, but if I select all of these, do this, we now have these individual chunks that almost work. I'm going to have to add a few more cuts. Yeah, okay, that's enough. I'm also gonna cut these edges. So we're gonna get this long strip in the middle. So we've got these now. Obviously, like these are a little wonky. I'm probably okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna detach all of it to this stuff, and now reassemble it. So that straightens it up a bit. That's fine. Cool, so that's all straight now. These are all done. So next step is to orient them properly. So are they all doing the same? This one can go, by the way. Make sure it's aligned at the same point. It's called fence. So let's delete this one. Give it the same name, put it in there. Now what we're going to do is select everything. Ooh, some of these. What are these points? Why are they so small? Okay, so these points vanished for some reason. I'm gonna connect them. Okay, so I've got these strips here. What else? Well, wrong button. Stack them together. Once again, select everything. That works now. Next step is gonna decide where do I want to place these. What shape is it gonna get? Stack these because they're the same, just on other sides. You know what? Actually, gonna select our reference again. Might fit it in that one. When I did my research into this, this one is the big one, or they the same wood? Yeah. So I'll put it in there. I think it's all gonna be in there. Alright, it wasn't too exciting, but let's export this one as well. Some fence. to assign its material. Again, the materials aren't done yet. It's a first pass. I'll tweak it when everything has an actual texture in the scene. So that looks like this right now. That's alright. Here you can actually see, because we UV'd it this way, you can see that these there's a cut here. Like, actually, it looks like it's designed that way. The wood. I noticed one issue in the trim material, and that's I haven't assigned the right texture. So it's a stone texture. There we go. Now it makes more sense. We'll come back to that. So that's the wood one. Well, you could try out real quick. I'm not sure if this is going to work. It's because we made a material, like a shader thingy last episode. You can come in here and tweak the colors a bit. We could make it more saturated if we want. I think that's actually works fairly well. We could boost the normals maybe. Might get too rough. Maybe decrease it even. Yeah, that works. There's a bit of an overlap here, I see. Don't want that. All right. Now we could try and make the arch. I hope enough time for that. But this is basically the whole process. Just going over it one asset at a time. Yeah, let's do one more. I want to do this one. Okay, again, let's make a new shape. on. Let's try and make this a proper arch. I think this is sort of okay. So that's all. Let's grab these edges. Now we can do some final tweaks. I'm not sure. I don't quite like it. I think this one works a little better. What if I just subdivide this? Yeah, maybe this works a bit better. Yeah, well, never mind this one. I think for now I'm gonna remove these edges. It's gonna create an n-gon, but it'll be a bit easier to create all the ornaments that have to follow the edge. So next up I'm gonna delete this bottom part, make a proper one. um, yeah, so there's this, looking at a screenshot here, to do this part. Guess I could put one on the screen as well, so I kind of know what I'm looking at. something like that. So move this one as inward as well. Maybe a bit more. I don't know, I don't like how intense the scaling is at this distance. So let's move this upwards a bit. Thinking how I'm gonna make these patterns. What I could do is just inset them with another mesh. Yeah, that's a tough one. The thing I know is it needs one more edge. Hmm. Let's start with something like this. I'm thinking hard. Yeah, that's actually this might be it. So I think we have to move this inward. We'll get there. Just I have to make a few more similar shapes with to those off camera. Then I noticed that these are a bit squished. Like that. Then I guess we have to move these down a bit to compensate for scaling. And then what we'll do is for these, directly manually. Alright, so that's the top part. Now I need to have one more row that functions a bit differently. I'm gonna do that. Let's remove these edges. And then since these are moved down, I think I'll just duplicate the surf on the other side when I'm done. Yeah, it does something like that. And then I have to move this inwards. Where that ruins some of the structure. Now we'll just delete this entirely for now. Then select these parts, move it down, take this backside and turn the component again and scale it out. This is one of the weirdest shapes I've made, I think. That's quite cool, I think. Yeah, I think that's it. It's gonna be fun to UV. Oh yeah, and then we have to delete that. Fill up these bits. This is also an issue. So let's delete that as well. Oh, did I miss one? Okay, now let's extrude these downwards. Some messed up things still here and there. Yeah, so do it like this. I think to save some polys, I'll merge these edges. Same here. one straggler here. And finally we can move this inward. So actually this shape here has like a bunch of little details. No, looking at it, it's actually part of the, what do you call it? But however, I'll add a few of those as well. Go in. Something like that. There we go. That's a bit more of a complex shape. Let's fill up these areas. So those are quads as well. One triangle, that's fine. Actually, yeah, that's a nice one. So connect these small little edges. Oh, I missed the edge. I missed the corner. Okay, I think that's it. It's working now. It's really fancy shape here. Quite happy with it, but it's a pain to make. But we got it. So can we UV or do we need, oh yeah, we still need to add these trims around here. So you know what, let's just delete half of it, the whole thing. That's the easiest. And yeah. Hmm. Might just delete that and then extrude. I think that's best. Yeah, that works. Now for a ref, I actually need this one. This needs to fit in there. Oh, it's quite perfect actually. It's great to see. One 5. That's good. Anything else here? So this goes there. Now we're gonna add same detail there. I'm falling a bit quiet, so I'm sorry. It's trying to think of how to connect like this part here. Okay, so these edges have to continue. Just thinking how they will do that. Got a little ornament in the reference, but don't think I'm gonna make that. Needs to be a bit higher. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Now we can fill up these spaces, I think. I still need to add this one. Oop, there we go. Also have an edge here. How deep does this go? All right, so there's I think I'm gonna do this is add an edge loop in here. Yeah, and then I'm gonna extrude these parts. Right, before I do that, I also have to extrude these. There we go. Let's see, anything else? I think I want to add one more detail. Do I don't want to overcomplicate this stuff. Okay, I do think I want to raise this part quite a bit, something like that. And then move this out a little bit. And for reference, I'll cut this in two. And take these, move that there, move that. Now let's fix the topology once more. Could move this over so it's the concave shape. Actually, I have to merge these. Yeah, no, I'm do this differently. No, never mind, I'll leave that. Or will I? Yeah, you kind of have to. Okay, I'll just. I'm wrapping it up right now. Delete this front part. Duplicate our mesh. Mirror it, and then we can stick it to the other half. And that's it, that's the model. So I have to UV it, but oh yeah, that is something. Because I lowered the shape, it's not aligning quite right anymore. So we'll do it like that. Now it's fine. So before and after. How far am I into the recording? Okay, let's see if I can quickly UV this a bit and get it into the engine. Modeling took a bit longer than I expected, so again, select everything. I'm gonna merge the whole thing. Now let's find the edges. Wait, why? Oh, I forgot to fix this n-gon. Let's add some cuts. There, it's all fine now. I think there's a bit of an issue here. Yeah. That's wrong. There. Something went wrong with the extruding. And finally this side. Now it's all good. Let's save it. Select the whole thing. Merge it. Cut the edges. Could probably delete this half again. UV first half. You know what? I'll do that. It's a bit easier. So go quicker. Selecting all the hard edges, pretty much. So that went out. Oops. It's a little tedious. Trying to do this as quickly as possible. Except this part. It's another part. We just have to separate this from the back part. Alright, there were a few errors. Means there's some issue with the geometry still. Oh yeah, I think I see what's happening. I think this is, it's not quite a nice square. I think this will work a bit better. Completely messed up some parts. Alright, I'll pause the video, fix this UV, and then we'll continue with the texture. Alright, the UVs are almost done. There's one more thing I want to show, and that's how to make these curve bits straight, or at least how I do it. So for example, if I would rotate it and try to use the straighten tool, it doesn't always work. So to solve that, I select all the edges, I disconnect it, then I rotate it, then I straighten it, and then go in here, select them again, and stitch them together, and now it's straight. You can see how the UVs now follow this nice line. Sometimes there'll be a bit of deformation. To fix that, you can add some more geometry. Like if you add one more line, you see how it tries to straighten it. Like let's say if you add 3 lines, now it's almost straight. But it's you'll barely notice this in game, so I'll just leave it as is. So I quickly do it with the other ones as well. Let's grab this one. Let's do all of them at once actually. Separate them. Rotate them. Then I'll straighten them. Then stitch them together. There we go. And with that, the UVs are done. Now we can put them in their place. Here you can see this is why I use the UV layer thing. It'll show you any deformations or issues. So let's assign it to stone material. I already see this is going to be a bit of a longer episode. Yeah, it's almost 2 hours. Let's see if I can finish this before the 2-hour mark. I'm gonna move everything outside of this UV window, so I know which parts are done. Now for this one, I think I'm actually gonna use 2 materials. So I'm gonna select the polygons which I want to have different material, and this one as well. And I'm gonna assign it the default stone material. So that's all good. Select these. Will be these will all sit on the little pattern. So first things first, we'll align them all properly. Stack these, and these. Make it so they're all of the same size. I'm gonna once again select our reference. Grab this part and scale it till it fits perfectly in the shape. There we go. Now we have this cool little thing going on the edges, as well as over here. I'll assign this to the other material as well, I think. This little piece. You know what? This one as well. It's orientated. How's this sit? Okay, so that's correct now. Oh, this is an important one as well. I actually made a strip like just for this one. Just this part here. Let's fit that in there. And then second to that, I'll take these. Similarly, they have their own as well. Okay, it doesn't quite work. Okay, is there anything else? Oh yeah, I have these. Here we go. Let's I think it works now. Duplicate it. Merge them. Okay, I think that's it. It's called Arch. Delete the old Arch. I'll export Arch. I hope this works. If not, I'll finish it after the recording. set. Okay, that looks pretty cool already. Now we have to assign two materials. That's how this works. If you want two materials in Unreal, assign two in Maya. So I'll take to the side and there we go. Seems to work. Oh yeah, I was tweaking with the values a bit there. So now you can see those details. Increase the normals. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so these don't align just yet. I have to tweak them a bit. But yeah, it's in place. Quite happy with it. This stuff works pretty well. If I font swap these out with the other wall, a bit of detail there might be nice. And then rotate them. Let's make sure these align. Yeah, I think they do. That's how you add a bunch of detail. Alright, I'm gonna leave it at that for now. We've made 3 assets in about 2 hours. I'll do the other ones after the stream. So by the start of the next one, all of this should have color and some detail. I might set dress it a little bit. And then what we're gonna do next episode, I think, might change, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna add the carpets. We're gonna make those in Marvelous Designer, and then make a fancy material for that. It's going to be a lot of fun, and then suddenly we have a bunch of color in this scene. So I'm looking forward to that. With that, I am going to end this episode, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.